it's now time for us to get into our communities to find out what is going on in different places, some of the challenges people are experiencing, and what we can do to help. All right, now we're going to go over to Amasaman, to that corridor of the city where the road is leading out from, of course, Achimota, Ofanko, Pokwase, Amasaman, heading out towards Nsawam. Now, you know the road construction has been going on for some time now. Residents and commuters alike are calling for a speedy finishing of the project, because it's causing all kinds of inconvenience and challenges for people. Of course, during the rainy season, it will not be pleasant at all. I don't know whether the rains are good or it's the dryness that is good, because Jiva, you can imagine if it's not raining, it's dusty. And just a few months ago, we were talking about the dust issues there on that same stretch of road. And then now it's raining, it's creating all kinds of things. So you can imagine potholes will be craters, and all kinds of discomfort and so on. Anyway, we do have a report though for you, filed by a colleague and correspondent, Fauzu Masawudu. Let's take a look at this report. When we come back, we'll speak to some people who can give us some answers.
The 33.4-kilometer Amasaman-Nsawam road project, initiated in 2022 as part of the Accra-Kumasi road network, includes 4 interchanges and flyovers at Amasaman, Bobiman, Media and Nsawam Junction. Despite contractors claiming a 50% completion, commercial drivers at Amasaman station lament the ongoing adverse effect of the road's poor condition.
2 years, and so Ohu de tele ekusi akwa na che ama driver for so ye ble okwan so ese cars no bia ba obi be so Amasaman ya o mi nko biom e de nje o se akwan no ekwan na nye ese pass no so pass no so bo ayeden o ko to bo jantia acha 1 week 2 weeks na ese o ko se sam edu onwume na abehwe kwan so a na ka opeka akra oble.
Major transport companies like VIP Transport Service report severe repercussions, including vehicle breakdowns and disgruntled passengers due to the rugged terrain.
Normally, different road, kama, ema cars near them, so na can nam so na can wide atono. But we also the antisa, ubedu wana amla kese, bakwana kanu. Unya abotre kura to makani to me dane person ni bi wo ma wada kro nimsa ka na de muni no odidi driver ni na tem driver dem kwase ka na wo kan sa no bet na nya driver ni fault na ye kwan no nti yesre road minister say onye ye moa no one wo mon kasa na kwan no omon level kwan maye na yeso ye ka na de nya auto si aye base ya ka na be bia maintenance na ho balance say na ye bag pipe ebi wo kra na etumi Yakaba kusade ko na azina bu amatom na mama azina bu won na ni nyina Jesus akoto azevo for
Adakabre Frimpong Manson, General Manager of VIP Transport, reveals the financial burden of repairing their coach's broken parts.
What are some of the costs of the parts that get the 2 parts that I talked about are the bellows underneath the coach and also the hub bearings. And then a particular bus, you are looking at 4,000 to 6,000 on the hub bearing, the drawer one, or I would say the pair. And then if you have a coach that every 40 days, a bearing goes off, every 40 days, a bearing goes off, and you are paying 4,000 cedis to replace the bearing. You can imagine the cost if we are doing over 400 buses in and out of Accra every 24 hours. And every 40 days, a bus would go off with a bearing, and we need to replace it with 4,000 up to 6,000 replacement parts. You can calculate the impact financially on the operations of the company.
Excessive dust inhalation poses significant health risk to commuters, affecting the respiratory and central nervous systems.
Sometimes, say in foot no, that's no. contractor no mo water kwan so mostly ebu anu a why say one ababa akopɛ no okɔ.
Even more grave of their concerns is the shortage of water supply as a result of disconnection of some pipelines. We are currently here at one of the households that have been affected by such to engage them in our bid to ascertain the impact of the situation. Really.
Nsuo na ma hwɛ me brɛ kra no kita ade okɔ nsuo. Nsuo no fiti be March ni mo ho ba ne de pipe de pipe de yenya bi da. Ni na ma.
Nti moye dembu nsuo. Enya nsuo de njuma na
nsuo no maami bia asidan kese wa ha na wale hu nyina nti watu fom. Ti nsuo ne to a ekofom. Na ne yakose bi na ye de ababe ye de beye.
The Ghana Water Limited GWL Communication Manager Stanley Marty attributes water supply disruptions to pipeline relocation for construction purposes, but assures restoration efforts.
Yeah, you know there's road construction ongoing on that stretch, and anytime it happens, we need to relocate the lines, and so definitely we'll have to cut the line off and then lay a new one, or lay a new one before cutting off the old one. Now, the way the road network is and the way the construction is ongoing now has been a bit difficult. So they are now demarcating the lines, and then we'll complete the relocation of the lines. So it's in progress.
The GWL aims to extend water services to affected areas promptly.
We are done with the relocation of the line that serves the Amasaman-Nsawam area. We'll see some improvement in that area as well.
How are there timelines to a full installation?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult because of the road construction. I mean, they've given us timelines, but as to whether they're going to go by it, we can't really tell. And we are following their program, so we are hopeful that we'll be able to finish on time or on schedule.
Ghana West Municipal Chief Executive Clement Wilkinson refutes delay allegations, asserting the project remains on schedule and urges road users to prioritize safety.
I'm not too sure they are worried about something we call delay. The road has not been delayed at all. They are on schedule. But maybe they can complain about their right way when you want to come out and go in. Maybe the rules are not that clear for them. But when we talk about their schedules, they are on time. It's raining. They will water the road, but dust will come. That is why we try our best for them to push back from the road. But you see, people are selling close to the road. So what are you expecting from? From the construction? You'll be facing those challenges. I'm just pleading with them. Don't stay closer to the road. It will disturb you in future.
And so you see that the challenges are real, right? A plethora of them. So we have water have been disconnected. So this is challenges for residents. Yeah. Of course, Stanley Marty said that they lay, a secondary pipe or another alternative pipe to supply water. But from the interview that Fauzu had with the other lady, you can see clearly that it's rain harvested water that they are using, right? Because they don't have access to the pipe-borne water. It's a challenge. Then commuters, we definitely need to speak with, some of the authorities there, especially Mr. Wilkinson, and to find out, in terms of timelines even, how soon are we expecting all of this to be over?
Because he mentioned that it hasn't been delayed.
So it's kind of bizarre to me. We'll find out when we speak to the engineer, what the actual projected timeline was supposed to be. Then we'll know whether we are on track or we are not on track, right? But here's the thing. I've seen projects where you see that the workers, it's like they mount heavy-duty floodlights. They're working day and night. Day and night.
Yes.
This is one of our highways. This is a road that takes us from here, Accra, to Burkina Faso, which makes it an international route. It is mind-blowing that don't seem to be attaching a certain level of urgency to completing this. I'm not sure. Yes, what do you think?
A few years ago, I was using this route a lot, commuting from Accra to Akimodan because of school. And from maybe Medina or from Kaneshi through to Nsawam, and then from Nsawam Aduejui to Amasaman.
Yes.
At the time, the road was not good. It wasn't done. And if you are going or if you are traveling on that road, when you get to Nsawam Aduejui, if you're wearing anything, any colorful clothes, you need to quickly change, cover your hair. So when I'm commuting on that road, I don't wear wigs. I take off my wig, have a scarf, cover my bags, cover my everything is covered. Wear nose mask, even when COVID was not in existence at the time. Like everything was so dusty. The road is bumpy. By the time you get down from there, your knees are hurting, your legs are swelling, your back aches, and see, it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. And imagine if you are traveling on this route to a meeting or something. By the time you get to your destination, you are bathed in dust.
In dust,
You're looking so dirty. And how do you walk into a meeting explaining, especially when you don't live there? Explaining how you look so dirty and unkept, whereas it's not your fault. And as you said, I agree with you, because most times when roads like these are being constructed, there should be the need to make sure that work is being done in the fastest possible pace, because this is a highway that leads to Burkina Faso, as you mentioned. So lots of people commute on that road, and there's no alternative. There's no bypass. So what do they do? What do they do?
I honestly wonder if we were to do a bypass, what would have done? How would have gone about it to create a bypass? Because if you look at the way the city is laid out, I don't know, where would you put a bypass?
Well,
and the way the entire ecosystem there is laid out. You see, do you remember when the Pokwasi Intigen was being built, right? Caused a lot of, discomfort for people for a while, but it's been done. It looks beautiful. It's functioning well. It's supplying, there's very little traffic when it comes to the particular, infrastructure. However, it's created this problem on the Amasaman side, and so now we're hoping that they'll get that fixed as well, and then we can have some respite.
Most definitely, because, I mean, aside the fact that it's going to be affecting the commuters, people's cars, buying parts, going to change parts, checking on your cars, people's health is also a thing of concern here, because the dust is not good for anybody.
No, it's not. It's a major health risk.
We really need to take a look at it.
Well, anyway, you know what? We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, we'll have some of the duty bearers, people who are responsible for the project that's going on, and have a conversation with them.
On Footprints this weekend, His Excellency Dr. Bafo Ejebewa, former ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to Japan and the United States of America, shares his journey about his life and his diplomatic roles.
So after Japan, you also ended up in the US as ambassador.
Yeah.
What was the experience like?
Being ambassador in US is very different from being ambassador in Japan.
How different?
The Japanese are very welcoming. The Americans are too formal. Maybe because of the fact that we have had this English relationship and that kind of thing. The way we conduct our foreign affairs doesn't give the ambassador a certain kind of confidence and whatnot to make the kind of approaches that a good ambassador could make. In our politics, we forget the people who actually vote after the vote. And the way that we have also couched how we do things. We should find it odd. The Ghanaian character has changed. You know, the kind of pride and inner satisfaction of being a Ghanaian is gone. Mm-hmm. Now, everything is in terms of, money. We have forgotten those people whose fingers put certain people, in office. And I don't think that ought to be the way we should translate our politics. I mean, we are one of the few, if not the only one. We are the one country on this planet who have no reason to be poor. We don't. Whatever it is, we have it.
Join your host, Samuel Atamensa, as he engages His Excellency Dr. Bafo Ajay-Bewa this Saturday on Footprints at 9 a.m. with a repeat on Sunday at 4 p.m. only on Citi TV.
Welcome to another edition of What the Papers Are Saying, where we bring you the big stories for the week and dissect them as reported by the big media outlets. And then we look at the various angles they reported on those stories and matters arising from those stories.
The news cycle can sometimes be rather daunting.
The Gifty Chumam, I don't know. I haven't followed that constituency much, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I knew Jerry was going to win. I knew Gabo was going to win. I knew the Greater Accra minister was going to win.
I like the fact that more young people, Kabiru, Gideon Boaku, all of those new guys are getting into the system. It's only with fresh energy, fresh ideas that our country can do well.
With an abundance of media houses publishing daily, where does one even begin?
Now he says he's suing the young man.
To retract and apologize, because it didn't happen.
Well, we saw the thing happen. Mm-hmm. And if what we saw is what it is, then it's a very shameful act from somebody who's supposed to be a member of parliament.
And you are saying so of your opponent, that he's organized boys to come and beat them. And he was telling police people that he will beat him, you give him a double beating. You will beat him at the post, and you will organize people to get him beaten. The way he said it. And I mean, it's not correct.
What the papers are saying is a one-stop shopping experience to know and understand the most important news items that made the headlines.
The Black Stars has become a cash cow for certain people, and they talk with our emotions. When Black Stars don't do well, see how the whole country feels. And they don't care whether we do well or not, they are making money.
A sitting vice president being the master driver of any government. If I am wrong, somebody should point it out. You can only suggest, you can influence if it comes within your purview. And all the weapon he had was just a recorder. And then you expose him to this kind of ridiculous. I mean, how do you do that?
Catch the next episode of What the Papers Are Saying with your host, Vivian Kailoko, and her guests each Thursday at 9 p.m. only on Citi TV.
All right, welcome back. Now we're having conversations here on the community development segment about some of the challenges that are going on the Amasaman stretch of the N6. Now, we have the engineer, the resident engineer, who is engineer Commuter Bimpom, and he's joining us on the line. If you know that name, you probably know it from the time the Pokwase Interchange was being built. He was the resident engineer there as well. Engineer Bimpom, good morning.
Hi, good morning, people, and good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Yes, it's good to have you back on Breakfast Daily.
Yes, same here.
Now, talk to us about the state of affairs as far as the Amasaman Road construction is concerned. When was the initial expected time of completion?
Well, thank you very much. As you may be aware, for those who are not aware, well, let me say good morning again to the long-suffering members of the public who tried the session of the N6, as you have really initially mentioned. Yes, so this project was assigned started in July 2022 for a period of 24 months. The first 6 months was slated for the design, because this is what we call the design construct contract. And it is for the section from Ofankor all the way to Nsawam Junction, and we are providing a 10-lane dual carriageway. So we have 5 lanes on either side of the road. And we have about 4 interchanges stroke overpasses. Kobiman, Midier, Amasaman, and then an underpass at the Nsawam Junction. And we have about 10 pedestrian footbridges. And a number of structures, drainage structures. We are providing pedestrian facilities, lighting and everything. Now, based on what you also have said, there are a number of things that we started. And for the past 2 years, we have been working assiduously to complete the project. But then we have to tackle the most important and difficult part of the work, which are basically the concrete works. So retaining walls, we've seen that we've done almost 100% of all retaining walls that are required for the project. We've done about 50% of the footbridges. The Kobiman Bridge is about 83% done. Mid-year is also about 50%. The Amazon project interchange, which is going to be a 3-tier interchange, is also about 25% done. We have not yet started with the Nsawam, underpass. The tenant is going to be done in the course of time. The culverts are almost complete. We've done about 30 to 40% of our U-drains, New Jersey barriers, railway bridge. For those of you pass there, you see that we are about 90% complete, and then some other cash barriers. So by way of structure, this is where we are. Now, if you ask about our percentage completion, we are almost 60% complete.
Okay.
And that you straight away know that we are nowhere near completion. However, I must add that the difficult part, which takes time, is what we have been able to undertake.
Okay.
Now, what we are left with are the pavement works. And if I say pavement works, for the roads that we use, apart from the top black or the black top that we see, we have the base, which is the crash rock. We have sub-base. Here we are using cement stabilized sub-base, and then natural gravel sub-base.
Okay.
Or let's call it gravel as part of the construction. So this is where we are so far as the project is concerned.
Will the rains in any way hamper progress?
Oh, yes. Yes. For a road construction like this, when we have not brought the road to the level of the drains, especially for the main carriageways, you will find out that when it rains, the water does not have anywhere to go except to run along the road. But then in the fullness of time, when we have raised the road to a level or to the refined level, all what we are seeing will be a thing of the past. So yes, indeed, we are having an impact of the rains on the construction and, of course, on the motorability of the road.
Okay.
Now, engineer, Aside the rain, which is way beyond your control, are there any other unforeseen challenges you've encountered which has slowed down the pace of work or has delayed the completion of the work on the road?
That is very true, my dear. Well, let's enumerate them. We have utilities. Utilities, that is water, that's water line from the Ghana Water Limited, and then we have the ECG lines, all within the road space. And these would have to be moved before we are able to complete the road. And unfortunately, it took some time to get subcontractors on board to undertake these works. And as I speak to you now, about 80 to 90% of the water works which were hampering the road, the water relocation works which were hampering the road works have been relocated. And if you look at the electricity, now because we require outages, and ECG is having some challenges in terms of outages because of the challenge that we all know. We all know about it. We don't want to give outages, just anyhow. But now we have a contractor on board. We have erected our high tension lines, that is the 33 kVA line, and now these things are giving way. The third one has to do with persons who have, in my view, encroached on the road space. They have encroached on the road space, and humanitarianly, we cannot just move them. We have to pay them compensation. Those who are qualified have to be paid compensation. But those who have encroached, they are supposed to be removed. And some of them, unfortunately, not unfortunately, in their own right, have resorted to the legal court. And of course, the legal court requires that due diligence is done, and that has also taken some time to resolve. But by and large, a lot of these issues are being resolved. But then they are having a negative impact, or they are having negative impact on our works.
Right. Looking at all of these challenges you've outlined right now, does this mean that you are still going to work within your estimated time of completion, or is the date going to move further ahead? And if so, have you been able to communicate this to the appropriate authorities as well as the residents in the area?
Well, thank you. We will not be able to complete next 2 months. And just about 3 days ago, I was telling the contractor has given us a notice, as to how these things that I've outlined are going to impact on the completion of the works. But then a formal notice or request for extension of time is yet to be received. And this, when received, will be forwarded to our client or the employer, for the appropriate action to be undertaken.
In that case, how much time of extension do you need? Say 2 months more, a year, or how much time do you need?
Well, you see, we would have to approve it. So I don't think it would be fair to the contractor to give him a time. So yes, we know it, but then it will not be healthy contractual-wise to mention that, on air.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate your time, engineer. Thank you so much for your updates because it gives us a lot of perspective. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
That was Engineer Kobna Bempong. He's the Chief Resident Engineer for the project, the Amasaman Road project. And, as he was listing what is going into the project, I was wowed.
Yes.
Because I couldn't believe it. First of all, it's a 10-lane interchange. So it's 5 going, 5 coming. So 5 northwards, 5 southwards. Now, you also have about 4 different interchanges
yes.
on their stretch.
Right.
4 interchanges.
Right.
That's a lot of work on its own, you know. And then we have about 5 footbridges as well. You could see some of them in the footage that they've already constructed them. So there's a lot of work. It may seem like a short stretch of road, but there's a lot that's going into it, you know. And for me, the sides of the road, he was talking about the retaining walls, you see, because you're dealing with earth that can move onto the road. So you have to build retaining walls to protect the road, right? And it's almost 100% of all retaining walls have already been built. You know, it's a lot. It's a huge project that is going on.
I agree. It's a huge. It's a lot of work, but I am still on the fact that, I mean, there should be a sort of urgency, speed, because these are
as in like working day and night,
working day and night, because these are people's usual road they commute to and fro. Some people live there and all of that. The dust is not any good for their health, as well as when it's raining, the water isn't good either. So I mean, if I live on this stretch of the road, I would really not know what to do, especially when it's rainy season. And then for someone who lives in an area where to some extent I have a tarred road and to some extent I don't have a tarred road, imagine leaving the house to the office and then you have to request an Uber. That's if you don't have a car. You have to request an Uber. How would a driver want to come and pick you from this distance? Even if you have a car, how feasible is it to manage your car 30 days a month to drive on this route every day?
Well, one person can definitely give us some answers and some perspective, and this is the MCE for West Municipal. He is Clement Wilkinson. Honorable, you're welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Yes. Honorable, I wanted to find out from you where you sit, looking at the project and looking at the plan with the contractor of, you know, the time for completion. When do you realistically estimate that we should be wrapping up on this project?
Thank you once again. Where I speak now, the document I have with me is October 2024.
Okay.
Which about 85% must be complete. So we have a little challenge, some small challenges that we are dealing with now. If you look at the road, it's a 10-lane asphalt road.
Yes.
5 left, 5 right.
Yes.
We have the speed lane, which is 3-3. Then we have the service lane 2-2.
Okay.
Then we have the exit lane as well.
Okay.
But as we speak, we have a challenge of this Ghana Greco electricity pylons on the other side.
Okay.
It's a challenge to us because if they haven't removed those pylons, the contractor cannot work under the pylons or remove the pylons from there.
Okay.
Electricity have to do that. But as I speak, I've seen another pylons mounting on the other side, which means that they are working on the pylons to remove the cables to the other pylons.
Okay.
So they are delaying the work just a little, and it will delay about 3 months or 4 months because of what is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we saying to the residents to sort of give them some, you know, comfort that it will soon be over? What are some of the things you're doing on your side?
Unfortunate for us, what is happening now, whether fortunate or unfortunate, I think the service lanes are the lanes that even the community will be using.
Yes.
And that is what is delaying as we speak. Because the highway is a street construction now as we speak, but the service lane is delaying a little. And what I would tell the general public is that they should have exact patience for us because this is a road that everybody is crying for.
Yeah.
And you know, about 5 years now, people were bashing me particularly.
Yeah.
And I did my best anyway. We tried to do some demolition, which people took me to court, which you are aware. And all those things delay a little. So as we speak, we are on the right way to solve the problem from the community, for all the communities around those areas, and people who are coming from Nsawam, Hebron, Kuntuse, Nidie, coming to Accra. They will join the highway, but not now. So I will ask them to be exercise patience for us.
Okay.
Now, as we speak, it's raining heavily, and whenever it rains, you see, because they haven't finished with the big gutters and the drains and all those things, the water has to flow to people's houses and all those aspects. So, my brother, they should keep calm, man. They should keep calm.
All right.
We are still working on it, and very soon they are going to see a better route that they can use and do the comfort.
All right. Now, Mr. Wilkins, before you leave us, I'm just curious about something. The court cases that you have, and are these not some of the residents around the road construction who have taken you to court? And is that not also one of the reasons why it's delaying?
Yeah, my brother, you're right. The same people. The same people are complaining that the road is delaying. And the same people have taken me to court.
I know, right? I know.
The same people have taken highways to court. And the same people are complaining that the road is delaying.
Yeah.
What I don't understand them. This court issue,
yes.
I don't want to give any judgment as we speak. But, the road belongs to Ghana Highway.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
But some of them, they are different. What they are saying there is that they were having some documents from Lands Commission and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
But when you do the search proper, you will see that the person bought 100 by 70 feet road, land, right?
Yes.
But on the document, you see maybe 150.
Oh, wow.
And you see 120.
Okay.
You see 110.
Okay.
So where from those things, right?
Yeah.
But I think the Land Commission didn't do well diligent before doing the registration for them, somehow. But in the actual site plan, it's 100 by 70.
Yeah. Even in the old days, it was 100 by 100. So really,
yes,
I mean, how do you come up with 120 and 150 and things?
Yes.
Yeah.
So even if it's 100 by 100, how come somebody is having 150 by 70?
Yeah.
And 150 by 100.
Yeah.
So my brother, the same people are complaining that the road is delaying, especially those who have the shop along the roadside, right?
Yeah.
Because of the dust and because of people are not trooping in to buy their thing, they are complaining, and the same people are going to court.
Well, hopefully.
So this is the Ghana for you, my brother. This is the Ghana for you.
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So, so we'll be speaking with Mr. Clement Wilkinson. He is the MCE for the Ghana West Municipal. And, I feel a bit more positive about, all that's happening here because for me, it's a fantastic project, first of all. I mean, you can't take it away. It's a really, really fantastic project. And so I think it's important for us to be a little more patient. It is uncomfortable. There's no two ways about it. It is uncomfortable. We would rather it to be over sooner than later. But whatever happens, it will be over, eventually. And so if we can exercise a little more patience and then see that once it's over, we'll all enjoy it, we'll all benefit from it. Okay. Well,